What is going on, everybody? And welcome back to another episode of Your Request. This is a segment on my channel where you guys recommend films for me to check out. And I really love doing this segment. I did a couple episodes of it not too long ago, but recently I've been trying to get it caught up on a lot of 2025 releases and things that I've really wanted to check out. And so I'm trying to kind of balance each and every one of these segments that I do for my channel. But this movie really intrigued me and it was easily available to watch. And this is also a part of another series on my channel that I do called The Criterion Corner, where I select films from the Criterion Collection and discuss them at great detail. And this just so happens to be in the Criterion Collection. And I was really excited to watch this movie. This is a film from the 1930s. The person who recommended it said that it is incredibly emotional and that it had really fantastic performances, which I was looking forward to seeing for that very reason. And the film I'm going to be discussing with you today is Make Way for Tomorrow. Make Way for Tomorrow is directed by Leo McCarey. At a family reunion, the Cooper clan find that their parents' home is being foreclosed. Temporarily, Ma moves in with son George's family, Pa with daughter Cora. But the parents are like sand in the gears of their middle-aged children's well-regulated household. Then the old folks take matters into their own hands. So I was super excited to watch this movie, knew very little about it before I went in to see it, other than the brief plot description that I just read to you. And what I will say is, this movie is brilliant. It is emotionally devastating. It has phenomenal performances. And I think that the way that it handles its subject matter is just so incredibly poignant to this very specific dynamic between families that ends up happening in a lot of circumstances. And I think that it's really interesting to kind of pull back and analyze the themes that this film is trying to explore, because inevitably it's something that happens to most people. You can't get away from aging and the way that aging sort of impacts you or your spouse or the entirety of your family. And I just thought that the way that the subject matter was handled was really well done. And I'm excited to tell you a little bit about it today. So at the beginning of the film, we are introduced to Bark and Lucy Cooper, who have a very large family with multiple siblings, and they have invited them all home for the holidays. And the grown children all show up. They're super excited to see their parents, and they say, "Hey, we have something incredibly important we want to tell you." But first, the kids sort of talk about their lives and everything that's going on. And the parents eventually come around to telling them, "Hey, we've been holding off on it for as long as we possibly can, but because we're getting older, neither one of us have been able to, get jobs or work a job that can hold down money. We don't really have much left in our savings, and the house is about to get away from us. We can't afford to live here anymore. And until the Bark, the father, is adamant that he'll be able to find work somewhere else, but they need some kind of solution in the short term until they can figure out what they want to do long term. So the kids sort of argue amongst themselves where they're like, "We don't really want to take in our aging parents right now. We all either have kids of our own or lives that we want to continue on without having our aging parents in the way." But eventually, after some discussion, the kids all fold on it. And eventually, George agrees to take in his mother, who lives at home with his wife and his daughter in downtown New York. And Cora decides to take on her father, who's in a house with her husband, but they don't even have a bedroom for him. He sleeps on the couch. And this husband and wife couple have been together forever, told they have to move hundreds of miles away from one another. And the entirety of the film is watching these two people who are up in age trying to figure out, is there something that they can do to figure out how they can eventually be together again and live the rest of their lives out together happily. Like I said, this movie is fantastic, and there's a multitude of reasons for that. And for starters, I want to talk about the performances. Everyone in this movie does a really incredible job. But Beulah Bondi and Victor Moore, who play our two lead characters, Lucy and Bark, are incredible in this movie. I feel like their relationship, there's something about it that feels so natural. It feels like two people who have been together their whole lives, and the chemistry that they form from very early on. It's so incredibly believable as you're watching the movie that these two people would have ended up together. And I feel like the actors who play their kids, they all have very distinct personalities, which makes the movie very easy to immerse yourself into, because even though you don't get a ton of expositional dialogue to each and every person's lived experience. They play the character in a way that you have a full sense of understanding of who they are, which is what makes the movie really easy to immerse yourself into and enjoy. And I thought all these performances were exceptional, but especially towards the tail end of the film, these two lead actors just really share some incredibly amazing, tender moments between one another that are very believable and that resonate with you very heavily emotionally. And that's something that I liked a lot about this movie. It's shot in beautiful black and white cinematography. There's really great attention to detail and where characters are placed in the frame, how they react to certain situations, especially because you're bringing your aging family member in, and the family will have conversations about this person when they're in another spot in the room, but they're placed in the frame in a way you're like, yeah, just because they're old doesn't mean they don't know what's going on, and they don't know that you're talking about them right in front of them. And I think there's so many really powerful moments in this movie that are accompanied by the cinematography that help you kind of understand what being in this situation would be like, and feeling kind of how all parties involved are feeling in this specific situation, which I thought was another thing that helped with the movie very much. And like I said, this film tackles a lot of difficult subject matter because it is inevitable. We all get old. That's just a product of life. Our bodies age, moving around gets harder. Even the way our brain processes information, it becomes more and more difficult the older that we get. And you see this husband and wife couple who genuinely, while you're watching this movie, they seem to be just truly loving, compassionate people who have spent their whole lives doing everything for their kids. And their kids are middle aged and grown up, and you can tell that they're grateful for what their parents have done for them. But I think it's true for any person out there. It's really difficult to want to bring your parents back into your life when you're a full grown adult that has like responsibilities and day-to-day activities, where like you can see the frustrations where the parents, they're just trying to be kind. Like friends will come over, they'll try to hold conversation, they're just being very polite, and the kids get frustrated because it's like, you're getting in the way of how my routine works. And it seems very mean, like the kids seem very awful in this. But if you kind of pull yourself back and think about it a little bit, you can understand they're trying to live their own lives, but you also have to understand, like, these are your parents who have taken care of you for so long. You want to try to do what's best for them. And so it creates very complicated emotions. And the kids do some things in this movie. It feels really awful, but at the same time, you're like, yeah, they want to live their lives. They want to have their own space. Most of them have kids or their own families. And so they don't want to have to take on this responsibility. And so it creates a very conflicting feeling for you emotionally. But I think the feeling that resonates more than anything else is seeing these two people that, even in their old age, still love each other completely and totally, and have sacrificed a lot in their lives for their kids. And you just want to see their love persevere. And there's so many amazing moments throughout this movie of dialogue between those two characters that just show a long life lived together, and what would happen if they are going to have to live out the rest of their lives separated from one another. Can they make it work? Will they be able to hold on to those beautiful memories between the two of them and try to let that love last forever? And I think there's something so remarkable about that. And this movie definitely has a lot of devastating moments. It has a lot of beautiful, really amazing, powerful moments that just show the love between two people. And I just thought that this was a really incredible watch. It's a movie that I won't stop thinking about for quite some time. I think if any of this sounds interesting to you, you should 100% check it out. It's a really fantastic movie. Have you seen Make Way for Tomorrow? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was incredible. I loved everything about it, and I'm already really excited to watch it again. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material, and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.